Hi everyone, welcome to Soulbeat Tarot. I'm doing this reading today for the zodiac sign of Aquarius. Alright, so when I meditated on your energy, I saw, of course I can't, I saw a newborn baby. Oh, and I heard starting over. And then I immediately remembered that, okay, so there's been, you know, planetary moves happening. I've mentioned this in my recent readings, but Saturn, the bringer of hard lessons, or the planet of karma, has moved out of your sign. It's been in your sign for 2.5 years, and so it might have kind of felt like you really couldn't get out from underneath something heavy while this was going on. So there's a lot here. But I'm being drawn to the desert and the key card first. So there's something here about a message that you've been like ignoring or just not getting the correct gist of it. You know, there seems to be an issue with what do I want to say? Like your venom and situations that you're using your venom in, and how that it's like the message that Spirit has been trying to give you is that to see your venom for what it really is, that you're hiding something, that you're covering something up, that Spirit is, you know, whenever something irritates you, it's because there's something within yourself that you need to see, your shadow, that it's your shadow, you know. So there's been a lot of situations where it seems like your shadow has come out, and maybe it's come out to the point where maybe I don't know if other people have stepped away, or it was so harsh that it finally made you see what was happening. Yeah, because it feels like you've been fighting against something, like you've been trying to go in a certain direction, but there always seemed to be eventually some sort of struggle. You know, it's like eventually you always ended up in the desert, just going through these periods of despair, I want to say. But, you know, the desert card talks about how, you know, it's like the harshest place to be. You know, it's super, super hot during the day, and then at night it's like super, super cold. You can't see anything. There's no food, there's no water. That, you know, it's a place that you would go to, and after being there, it's like, oh, my candle just got really, really bright. After being there, you know, it's almost like everything would seem better. And that seems to be the key to this whole thing, you know, because it's like with the Page of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, and the High Priestess, it's like you always had the higher perspective and the knowledge there. But when we're diving into our shadow self, sometimes it's hard to see our own bullshit, because your shadow can be sneaky. It really, really can, you know. It can come up with the most bizarre excuses as to why you know, we're right in a situation where we're really wrong, you know, because it wants to protect us. It doesn't, it's not a bad thing, but if it's protecting you from things that you need, then it kind of becomes a bad thing, you know. And when we can finally see our own bullshit and our own venom, and how that has, because it feels like things have left your life that you didn't actually want to leave your life, but in the moment of anger or despair or whatever brought this out, you know, you possibly said or did something that I want to say that was downright mean. Or maybe this was done to you and you're watching someone, you know, kind of realize their wrongs. I just remembered the fact that Aquarius is a fixed sign, so it's harder to grasp onto things, I want to say, hold on to things. And there just seems to be this sense of finally seeing what's below the surface, you know, what you've kind of been hiding from yourself, you know, going in this direction, but missing important things that you needed to see. Because it's like, you know, it's like you have this really, really strong connection to spirit. I mean, you have the High Priestess here. Like, I'm just picturing somebody that has amazing abilities to see things. But if we haven't done, oh my, the candle just like way went out. That's funny. If we haven't done all of the work that we were meant to do, you know, if we've kind of just been shoving stuff down and not really looking at it, there's always going to be this desert period where things accumulate over time. You know, it's like, I'm thinking of this, you know, you're piling up these rocks, and if you don't do it just right, in just the right order, and set them just the right way, eventually it's going to fall over. And that might be painful. You know, it's like waiting so long to look at the things that you needed to look at, that when it finally comes around for you to look at, it's just like absolute despair, you know. So it's like you have this super strong connection. But if you're not careful, your mind or your ego could be telling you things that you're mistaking for gains into, you know, this is my intuition and I'm going to gain something from this, but it's really just your ego trying to cover something up and accomplish something through means that possibly weren't. Well, I mean, everything happens for a reason. I do want to say that, but it's like taking the path of most resistance instead of the path of least resistance. It's like I'm seeing a child that they have to be told something like a bunch of times until the parent finally is fed up with whatever they're doing that they're not supposed to be doing, that they're not listening to, and then the child finally gets put in like timeout, or a really important toy gets taken away, and then it's like the end of the world. Everything has crumbled because you just didn't listen for so long, and now all of a sudden it's like, okay, well then we're going to take all of this stuff away. But it feels important, because it feels very important that Saturn moved out of your sign, because all this stuff, especially if you weren't listening, and all this stuff was like piling up and piling up and piling up, and then you had a big fallout in some area of your life, finally that weight of that planet isn't on you anymore. So it might actually be easier for you to do the work, or maybe you possibly just finally saw things for what they were. Like you didn't. It's almost like that would overshadow. That would cast a shadow, and that would maybe at times cause your connection to be distorted. It's almost like there was too much coming at you at once, and you just couldn't. Oh, it just made me think of boundaries. Like if you hadn't set good boundaries for things, and that would be a big lesson. If you're like a people pleaser and you don't have solid boundaries, and the universe is sending you all of these lessons, and you're not exactly seeing things for what they are. And I'm almost getting like a victim mentality from this. We've all been there. Like I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus, but it would, I just heard, it would cause a disturbance in the force. Like you wouldn't, your connection, your sight, your insights, your psychic visions, whatever you want to call it, would be, they might be distorted. They would be distorted. That's what I'm getting from this. But it seems like there's a turnaround. Whatever happened here, whatever was severed, is finally, it's like you're finally coming. You're gonna move up out of the sand, and you're gonna finally start to. That distortion isn't gonna be there anymore. It's almost like a weight has been lifted off of you. You're going to be able to get up, dust yourself off, and move forward, and I want to say that there might be like a bit of like shame and guilt attached to this, but I also want to say like people that are really meant to be in your life will continue to be in your life, and maybe there's some difficult conversations that need to be had. Don't force anything before you feel ready. Like, take your time. It's, it's never easy to learn these lessons, but I'm also like getting this exhilarated feeling. Like, once you've been down like that, the only way to go is up. So if that can give you a bit of peace of mind, it would give me a bit of peace of mind to just know, to just feel that trust and know, this was meant to happen. I finally see things for what they are. I'm moving forward. I'm now doing the right thing. The time will come for me to make amends, or whatever's meant to happen here. It just feels like a total shift in the right direction. Things are finally going to flip around, and then you're not going to have that distortion in the force anymore. You're not going to have those moments where you see things unclearly. And it just feels really good, you know? So just be patient with yourself. Talk nice to yourself. Don't get down on yourself. Like, that's the worst thing that you can do, is get down on yourself, because honestly, if you've hurt someone and you can go in and just like really connect with them and be vulnerable and tell them exactly how you've been feeling and what's been going on, if someone truly loves you, like, they're gonna understand, and they're gonna want to help you and be there for you. And oh, it's like making me emotional. But like, don't get down on yourself. Don't talk mean to yourself. That is absolutely the worst possible thing that you could do. And just, you know what I've been doing a lot lately, and this has helped me so much, is if someone irritates me, or, you know, something just happens that is irritating, I try to find how can I find gratitude in that situation? You know, it's like, I don't know, I'm thinking of someone, you know, not showing up for you, and it really upset you that they didn't show up for you. But then to be like, okay, well, you know, maybe there's something better out there. Maybe there's a person who is actually meant to show up for me, who's like 100 times better than this person. And that gives you a really good feeling, because then you've got, well, okay, I have something to look forward to now, instead of just being disappointed by this other person who may never have meant to really be in my life, you know? There may be a reason that they don't show up for you in a way that you deserve, you know? But there's always a lesson in it, and there's always you can always have gratitude in some way. And I don't know, it seems helpful to me to be able to see that, you know, to be able to sit there and think about it. Well, how can I flip this perspective, and how can I see the bright side of things? And like that, I don't know, I'm being drawn back to the desert card, like how, like, that's going to guide you out of the desert. That's a good, I might name that. Your gratitude will guide you out of the desert. Anyway, all right, Spirit, can I get one last advice card for Aquarius? You got self-sabotage. When you learn to get out of your own way, there will be no stopping you. Most of the time, it's not others who prevent you from achieving your true goals. It's that inner voice that derails those carefully woven plans. Oh my God, that is so funny that we were just talking about that. Yeah, it seems to be, you know, the inner work, the inner voice, talking badly to yourself. There's a need here to, you know, I'm thinking of someone talking to their sister or their best friend, or, you know, somebody that you're really, really close with. And if they were having a tough day, how would you talk to them? I guarantee it's not going to be the way that you talk to yourself. So anyway, everything seems to be, you know, there's a move out of this, whatever this has been. And it's like you needed to just have a little bit of reassurance. And I hope that this message gave you that reassurance. So anyway, I'm sending you so much love, Aquarius. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm so grateful for everyone that has been showing up here. It just makes me so, so happy. Anyway, I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you back next time. Bye.